Good evening, CSUSM EDU 17. I thought that I would do another screencast today because I'll be going out of town this weekend. Mark will be around to make sure that if you had any questions about the criteria at all, I could address those here in video. You could watch it, and also I'll be available by email. But Mark should be around if you want to do a hangout or you have any questions. I've received a few emails, done my best to answer those. I posted the tutorial on the screencast, so hopefully there aren't any more questions on that. If there are, please reach out to us. But I'm just going to go down the line as a quick reminder that you definitely need a peer reviewer, and the peer has to give you rich feedback. When Mark and I did that quarter semester review, we were forgiving on the comments. But for us, we need to see some rich comment over here on the side from your peers, and if it's not there, it needs to be in the comment history. And so we can definitely tell that you and or your peer have given each other rich feedback. And don't forget that you can either check things off on your criteria as you go and link your information right to the center of this into the one column rubric there, or you can link it on the side. Either way, but you definitely need to have evidence for each aspect that you are saying that is complete. So that includes the landing page, the class Twitter list, the About Me page, the PLN page. So essentially, we would take it like in Haley's example here. If we were to go to Haley's Weebly site here, I should very easily be able to see the landing page, the class Twitter list on the front page. Her About Me page should be separate, should have that bio and the picture of her. The PLN blog again, it's a separate piece. I should see that blog sidebar has the author archives and embedded research. And I think I have one I just pulled up here real quick. This is Miss King's. So notice she did answer. So what I wanted to do here, click on PLN. She did answer the author part here. She has her archives here. Doesn't have a lot of research, but at least she has her Digo tag role on there, and that's what we want to see from you. So make sure that either it's a Digo tag role there or it is a Pinterest board. So one or the other should be, and that would complete that piece. Instructions over here. So the PLN blog general reflections, 98% of you had already finished the Y School. Some of you needed to fix the tweet situation, but we'll be able to just go to your Twitter page and search CSUSM EDU book to check for the 10 quotes. Most of you already had the visitor resident video reflection. Don't forget to read the reflective post instructions. So there were some specific ways in which you were to answer these. Especially the first two, visitor resident and knowledgeable to knowledgeable. And then you had some general guidelines for how to answer the 4 videos that you chose from the Rethinking Education YouTube playlist. And remember, 2 had to be from the playlist, and then you could have either continued with the playlist for 3 and 4, or I noticed a number of you found some stuff that you were more interested in, which is perfectly fine, which would be 3 and 4. And I really appreciate those of you that labeled it in the title, at the end of the whatever you're reflecting on, 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4. It makes it easier for me and Mark, and it makes it easier for you. Now for the articles, remember we had 4 article possibilities, and that you had to choose 2 of those. I noticed a lot of you did How to Get a Job at Google, and I saw a lot of the Redefining Teachers with the 21st Century Story. But any 2 of these 4. And a note on the Wiggins ones, one of my tiny little pet peeves is Wiggins didn't write this. It was written as a guest post, and the author was female. So sometimes I'll see the reflections that Wiggins did this and he did that, and so not only was it not Wiggins, but it was not a he, it was a she. So if you were one that did that, make sure that you go back and correct that. And with all of these, don't forget the APA citations. And for the blog posts that have videos and or the articles, you want to make sure you create a track back to those so it's easier to embed the video. Obviously with the articles you cannot embed them, but you can link back to the article. So put yourself in the situation of the reader who might be interested in the Wiggins article or interested in the video. You need to make sure that it's easy from your blog that they can get to the article, or they can watch the movie from your blog, or you've linked back to the blog, and the citation does not count as linking inside of the post. So hopefully that makes that clear. Twitter chats, I know that was one of the last things we talked about as a group. Don't forget you're required to participate in one if you haven't done one yet. This Sunday night, the California Ed Chat one's a really good one, especially if it's your first one. It's fairly, SoCal related, and it's relevant, and it's usually interesting, and a bunch of people I know moderate that, and they're usually not only interesting, but they're kind of fun. One of the things that I see as a mistake oftentimes is people forget that I have here in the bold, don't forget to include the chat hashtag, the date and the time, what the topic was, who the moderator was, the chat questions if possible, and a non-linguistic representation, just simply an image that goes along with it, and at least 10 tweets. And it's easier when you're participating in the chat to favorite some of your tweets to make it easier. I've got an example from Sarah from last semester, and two things that I want to comment on. She embedded this as a slide as opposed to the full page. It's easier to navigate this way, and it looks cleaner on your blog. And so I'm going to go, her first page, notice she linked to John's questions for the California Ed Chat, which was on a Google Doc. And then on her second slide, she did a brilliant job saying, on Sunday, May 1st, I participated in the California Ed Chat from 8 to 9 p.m. Moderator was John Stevens, and the topic was making the most of the remainder of the school year. So that's what I need. And then from there, you can notice she included that counts, videos count as non-linguistic representation. And then she put questions and then included her information, including her tweets, etc. So this is what it should look like, if not embedded as a slideshow, the full screen. But remember, if you do that, it's a whole lot of scrolling for the reader, and our goal is to make it easier on the reader. So make sure you participate and make sure that is put on your blog. For the content curation, social bookmarking, this is something we've started. I don't expect this to be perfect, but we did make a choice between, most everyone chose between Diigo and Pinterest, and so that needs to be on your PLN blog. You're beginning to save research. It could be from the class, articles and videos and things that you've, if you're like, what do I bookmark or what do I save? You could create a Pinterest board on just credential program, or you could create a Diigo list that says CSUSM EDU 17 and start, bookmarking that research. And ideally you would be starting to save research in your content area. I know that may be a little sparse, and that's okay. I say you have an average of 2 to 5 resources a week spread out. We're not going to be complete sticklers over this, but I would like to see more than 1 or 2 resources saved for you, please. Connections through communities. I want to show you what this looks like. So the link I would want from you is your Google Plus profile, and I pulled mine up. And one of the cool things about this, so you could just go to Google Plus, or if you're logged into Google, you could click on your name and then click right there, and it takes you to your Google Plus profile. Or if you type in plus.google.com, it does the same thing, assuming you could spell Google correctly. And it takes you there as well. But notice it takes you to the home page, and then I would click on profile. This does 2 things for us to see really easily on you. Is the interest here would be your communities, or I could click over here on communities and I could see all the communities that you've joined or that you're a member of. The other thing I like about profile is one of your expectations is to be present in the community. If I scroll down here on your page as well, I can see all of the things that you have put in. So that's what it means. I don't expect a ton of communities. Somebody asked me that in an email. I would say 3. 3 would be awesome, maybe more, but hopefully you're looking for something that can connect you and you have learning experiences outside of your immediate sphere of influence. And so that's what we mean by connections of communities. Twitter as a connected educator. So you're on the class Twitter list. I'm pretty sure everybody's on that. You're not an egg. I'm pretty sure that's true of everyone else. Your tweets are not protected. I don't think anyone's were. You've created a bio and included a link to your Weebly class website, etc. And I'm going to click on mine, I think, here. So if you go to Twitter and you click on your name, what I mean here is that this piece right here, this is your bio, this is your calling card here. This tells you who you are. You could have chosen to put location or not, and this should link you right back to your Weebly website. So you can just say, I'm an educator. If you hate this, I'm an educator in a credential program, however, whatever you want it to be, and then link it back to something that is related to you. I use mine. I need to fix this, but I used an old About Me page to link to that. But that's what I should see from you on that. That's what that means. You're using the hashtag. Obviously, this is a typo. It should be 17, not 16. You have 10 tweets with the hashtag CSUSMEDUbook. We would have already seen that in the Richardson piece. You have at least 100 tweets. That counts retweets, all kinds of things, and it should be spread out fairly evenly over the semester. And again, you should have a nice follow list. I want you following at least 100 people. My list here has darn near 100 people, and they're all cool educators. So if you don't have anyone else to follow, what I would say though, if like you're a scientist and or a math person and you love like Myers, Dan Myers, or you love Neil deGrasse Tyson, go to their pages and see who they're following. That's always a cool. Will Richardson, he doesn't follow that many people. If you liked him, check it out. Michael Wesch, whatever it would be, find out who those people are following. Those guys are interesting. So build up that following. And you're seeking hashtags to follow, etc. Retweeting, quoting, that would be great. And somebody had asked me earlier, you're familiar with TweetDeck or a similar tool and use it to maximize your connectivity. Now, you just need to give me a picture of your TweetDeck. So whatever you could do there, I could pull this up. If this were my TweetDeck, and there's a million ways to take a screenshot. Let's see if we log. Oh, this is a pain in the butt here. Please work. There we go. So all I want to see is that you are using this to sort of, get information. So however you want to do it, you can just grab a screenshot of your TweetDeck that just shows you've got multiple columns tied to what it is that we're doing. And then you've got one of two choices. You could download the image and you could put it in here. I could paste that in there. There's a picture of my screenshot there. I just copied and pasted that. Or if you took a screenshot and you uploaded it to your Google Drive, you could just give the link there, but ensure that that link is visible to outside people, outside of CSUSM. So that's how you would do that. Class participation, again, most of that, you guys were awesome the whole time we were with you. So sorry we couldn't be together on the 31st. That was kind of the last day we were hoping just to introduce the screencast. But Mark and I both had to go out of town. But you guys were awesome. One of my favorite groups I've been with. I wish we could spend more time together. But I'm not worried about that sharing. I will, I'd like to see you present on Google+, and you can self-evaluate this. We trust you. And the App Slam or App Smash, I just did a tutorial on that, so hopefully that is clear. If not, it's pinned. And then the last thing here, don't forget, you've completed all the activities, linked your work when requested, you received peer feedback, you submitted your work, you've got to resubmit it through the form, and you've shared, everyone has shared their document with Mark or I. And so that's essentially it. Make sure you you resubmit the form, because that'll trigger Mark and I to know that we need to go back in and look at it. We hope to have you have this complete on or around the 5th. If you need a couple days, just let us know. We really just need to communicate with you. Our goal is to dive into that after the 5th and we'll split you up in cohorts. We'll look at it, we'll give feedback. If there's anything that needs to be revised, of course, we'll send it back to you. Revisions free of charge. And we do have a couple weeks after the semester ends until grades are due. So I know that's, don't worry if you have to revise a couple times, or you're struggling, or you need some support. We're here for you, but I would sincerely hope that you would have at least made substantial progress by now, because we have been available and haven't heard from you all. So hopefully you're all doing well. Again, reach out to us, Mark or I, either or, and hopefully we'll get you through this with flying colors. And again, thank you all so much. You've been great.